and welcome to Tatyova. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I like it. We have 4 lanes in the hand. We're going to keep on this one. We do have Skittering Surveyor, the poor man's sad robot. Let's go and get down Woodland Stream and then anything else. No, we're going to go cover commanders and I'll explain what we got going on. We're playing Tatyova. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Playing against Jodah, Archmage Eternal. Jodah's going to have flying, and then you may play Wooburg, which is going to be white, blue, black, red, and green, rather than pay the mana cost or spells that you cast. Now, this is actually the first time I'm playing against Jodah, so this should be hopefully it's going to be a fun match. Nothing we need to get down for 2. Let's go and get down Memorial, and then anything else we're going to pass turn to our opponent. So we cover both Commander, there's free time. We can talk about Tatyova. Now, as far as this particular deck of Tatyova, this is what, it's just kind of a Simic good stuff deck. The fun thing about Tatyova is that Tatyova just really kind of enables anything. You know, Tatyova is just an enabler commander. You get it down, you start making your land drops, you're getting that life, and you're getting that card draw going. So you don't necessarily have to have a theme. So it kind of settled into, you know, like most Simic decks, it kind of settles into this Simic good stuff deck. Just a ton of good value cards in here. Let's go and get down Forest, and then we could go for Skittering Surveyor. But at this point, since we do have 3 lands in the hand, we're just going to go and leave up Supreme Will. We'll see if we can't catch something from our opponent using that counter target spell unless they pay 3. And if they don't, we might end up digging just a little bit deeper. But yeah, it's just a bunch of Simic good stuff in the hand. We do have Tindershoot Dryad, which is absolutely wonderful. You get down the City's Blessing. It's pretty good. Do we want to go for Supreme Will on that one to stop that land drop? Yeah, let's go ahead and go for that. If they're trying to get down to a certain land, or maybe that's their last, yeah, I don't mind risking that one. Let's go ahead and go for it. We could dig a little bit deeper, but let's say that that's the 4th land drop that they need to get down Jodah. Hopefully it'll be a good tempo play for us to get our commander down and then kind of start going from there. All right, opponent's going to be swinging in with the... Swinging at the Merfolk Wizard, knocking us down to 29, and then we draw into Disallow. Let's go and get Island down. Let's go and go for our own Skittering. And what we'll do is we end up grabbing a Forest off this instance, so we do have 2 islands in the hand. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Let's go and grab Forest, put that in the hand, and then anything else we're going to pass turn to our opponent. But yeah, as far as some of the big fun spells we've got in the deck, we are running Overflowing Insight in here, but all right, opponent did have that land drop down. They did get, sorry, I was taking a drink of water too. All right, opponent did have get their commander down, making that land drop. Let's go ahead and get down Forest. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for, I think I like going for Tatyova on this one. We can start making our land drops. Puts our opponent on having some sort of spot removal. And I like seeing if they've got it. Yeah, let's go and get down Tatyova, and then anything else we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. But yeah, we do have Overflowing Insight in here. It's kind of one of our big payoff spells. But at the same time, we also have Sylvan Awakening. We actually just drew into that one. And in my testing of this deck, it felt like a lot of the times that, you know, some of these Brawl games, you know, they go to about 10... Turn 10, turn 11, turn 12 sometimes. Some of them are quicker, but a lot of the time you'll have these just really fun back and forth games. And I've kind of found that Tatyova ends up being just it can be a Sylvan Awakening game sometimes. You know, there's just sometimes where you end up with about 10, 12, 13 lanes on the battlefield, and then you just go for a big Sylvan Awakening, and then go for that. All right, opponent did have some removal. They went for Excellence Binding, and that will send her back to the command zone. Opponent's going to swing in for 4. It's going to put us down to 25. Let's see what we draw into. Draw into another island. Let's go and get Island down. And I guess at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll actually be getting really close to the City's Blessing once we get down Tindershoot Dryad. I guess we could technically leave up Disallow, but yeah, we're okay with that. I want to get some sort of board state developed. Anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. But yeah, as soon as you get down Tindershoot Dryad, and you have to have the City's Blessing to really take advantage of the that +2/+2. But once you do have that City's Blessing, I mean, it is just like an army in a can, and you can really start to swing in and put some pressure on your opponent by having the City's Blessing. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, which will be online next turn, simply making the land drop. Now it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Now we can go for Tatyova, and more than likely we'll go for that. Typically, once you get to the late game like this, you want to just start making your land drops just to get some card draw flowing in your hand. You spend a lot of early turns ramping, getting down some good mid-range creatures. So that's what kind of makes Tatyova such a good commander, or a Brawl commander in either one, to be honest, is that just it's going to be drawing you cards when you need it the most. All right, I was going to get an Icy Manipulator. All right, let's get that sapling token onto the battlefield, and we do have the City's Blessing online now. Let's go ahead and get down Island. Opponent's got 2 cards in the hand, and we do have a land drop to make with Island. Yeah, let's go and go for Tatyova. We could go for Rashmi, but I like going for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to tap out for 1 more. And unfortunately, most like yeah, I'm actually swing with the sapling token. With most of your land commanders or something that cares about lands entering the battlefield, you would hope to be able to sequence it up to where you can get down your commander and then still make your land drop. Like when you're playing Omnath Locus of Rage, you definitely want to make sure that whenever you cast Omnath, you're going to be able to make a land drop for the turn. That way you have some sort of value for spending your mana on it. In this particular case, Tatyova falls under that same category. You know, if you can get her down to where you can still make your land drop to get at least one card draw off of her, that's great. But, you know, certain scenarios to where we're not really entirely sure what our opponent's deck is capable of, it's nice just to go and get her down and hope for the best that they don't have spot removal and then start getting down some good value. All right. Looks like our opponent didn't have any spot removal. That's going to be another sapling token on the battlefield. How do we want to sequence this one? Let's go and do this. Let's go and get down Island. And we're actually pretty good with disallowing the hand, so no matter what our opponent has, we can actually stop some of this stuff. We can get down Rashmi for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will still keep us online for disallow. Now, let's say that we do swing in. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be 8, and that's going to be... I don't think we have enough to swing in with Sylvan Awakening. Let's do this. Let's go and go for Rashmi. And then what we might be being able to do is end up swinging with Sylvan Awakening next turn. Once we get that secondary sapling token, we'll see our opponent wants to, and especially if they kind of chump block on some of this stuff. Let's go ahead and push in on this one with these sapling tokens. And the opponent's going to use Icy Manipulator to tap down the... Yeah, that's fine. We could go for disallow on that one to stop that, but at this point right now, we just want to get it in a point to where we got to have just a really overwhelming board state. We do not want to swing in with a Tatyova, not Tender Shroot, skittering back off, and then 2 sapling tokens. Okay, all right, so we got 2 sapling tokens swinging in. If they do end up taking it, that's going to knock them down to 21, which is going to help us kind of increase our chances of swinging in with a good final attack. They're going to go for cast out. Yeah, I'm going to go for disallow on that one. That's going to be blue and then double blue. It's going to go for disallow on that one because I really want to get this 6 points of damage in, and I don't really see our opponent chump blocking with the 1 and the 2 drop over there. All right, knock him down to 21, and then anything else we're going to pass turn to our opponent. But yeah, so basically with let's do a little bit of combat math. So we're going to get another sapling token. So at least next turn we're going to be able to swing in with a pretty good chunk of creatures. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have 5 total saplings swinging across. That's going to be 15 points of damage. We're looking at Sylvan Library, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking at about 5 off Sylvan Library, so that's going to be 10. And that's going to be 25 right there. Blocking 3 of those. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to one-hit them technically, especially now that they've gotten a few more creatures out there with the Familiar and Journey Mage. I was hoping those last 2 cards in their hand, they wouldn't really get a whole ton of creatures going. But that happened. All right, we're going to get that Tender Shoot Dryad coming down. That token, and we have Master Wizard. Copy target instant sorcery spell. Other wizards you control get +1/+1. We're looking at a Druid and Dryad on both of them, so no wizards in the hand. Let's see. Let's go and make the land drop for the turn. Let's go get in Desert of the Mindful. That way we'll get an additional card draw going. You know, something like River's Rebuke would be really good because we can end up bouncing everything back to the hand. Let's do some more setting up. Let's go for Jade Light Ranger. This is going to be 1, 2. It's going to explore and then explore again. A desert and then we're drawn to Void. Okay, let's go and push in with a bunch of these sapling tokens. See if we can't kind of clean up some of these creatures out here. All these cards attack, and then we don't want to send in Tatyova. No, we're going to send the whole sapling crew in on this one. That's going to be 15 coming across, and luckily we're going to be able to trade with all of these creatures, really only losing about 1 or 2 tokens depending on how they want to divvy out the blocks. Okay, and then I do like taking care of the Arcanist. You know, even though the opponent does have Jodah out there, I just want to get rid of any sort of mana-producing creatures our opponents would have. All right, there we go. Take care of those. They're going to be able to draw a card off the Familiar, and then anything else. We're going to be able to flash in. We could go for Rashmi if we wanted to, but I like going for Master Wizard. We're going to be able to flash that in at the end step, and that's going to be another 3/3 body on the battlefield. Now we'll see what our opponent's going to draw into. They did have 1 card in the hand and whatever they draw into this turn. But at least next turn, between all the sapling tokens on the battlefield and Sylvan Awakening, that should be more than enough to swing in for lethal for our opponent, especially when we flash in that wizard. But yeah, as far as the games go, you know, there's if you're new to Brawl and maybe you haven't played Brawl before, I highly suggest playing Brawl. It's a I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of like training grounds for Commander, but in a really fun way. You know, if you think about training grounds, like it would be like, oh, you know, it's beginner's magic. But I mean, it's just a lot of 6 damage to target, to each of up to 3 targets. So we're going to go for Tinder Shoot and Tatyova. Now, if they end up going for that, we're not going to be able to copy target instant or sorcery spell that we control. The thing, if they go for that, that's going to get rid of that +2 bonus. We'll still go and flash in Master Wizard. It's not going to do much, but other than just add another body on the battlefield. But yeah, you'll have turns like this where, you know, you get Infernoed for 6. That's going to take Tatyova and Tinder Shoot. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to recast Tinder Shoot to give that bonus. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're looking at 8, 10, and then 11. So at least we can still kind of put some pressure on our opponent. Now, swinging into a 4-3 is going to be a little bit hard, well, unless our opponent swings in. Never mind. All right. Opponent's going to be swinging in for 4. That will put us down to 5. Now, hopefully, if we can stabilize at 5, we'll be okay. We can just leave back a few sapling tokens and then start racing our opponent's life total. All right, drawn to Hour of Promise. Let's go and get down Void. That'll give us a good scry. And then actually, we might have it with Sylvan Awakening. Let me do some quick math real quick. Let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. Yeah, I think we do have it with Sylvan Awakening. Let's go and go for that. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. All lanes become 2/2 elementals, reach indestructible. Oh, look at that. All right. Let's go and swing it with the whole crew. And I think I want to make sure that's everybody. Yes, it is. All right. There's just something really fun about Sylvan Awakening in Brawl. It just feels really, I don't know, it feels good. All right. So we've got the whole crew swinging across. Our opponent only has 1 blocker up at this point right now, and we will be able to deal more than enough lethal on these creatures coming across. But yeah, opponent scooped it up. Unfortunately, we can get to see a whole lot from the Jodah deck, but looks like they kind of depleted their resources pretty quick. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.